Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between towering mountains and lush forests, a beautiful queen wished for a child. As she sat by the window of her grand palace, watching the snowflakes dance in the winter air, she made a heartfelt wish for a daughter with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony. Her wish was granted, and she gave birth to a lovely baby girl whom she named Snow White. The kingdom rejoiced at the arrival of the princess, but their joy was short-lived. The queen fell gravely ill and passed away, leaving the king heartbroken. Seeking solace, the king remarried, taking as his new wife a woman who was as beautiful as she was wicked. She was an evil sorceress, well versed in dark magic and obsessed with her own beauty. She had a magical mirror that would provide her with the answers to her most pressing questions. Every day, the wicked queen would stand before the mirror and ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" And the mirror would reply, "You, my queen, are the fairest in the land." The queen was pleased with the mirror's answers, until one day, as Snow White grew older, the mirror gave a different response. "Snow White, beyond the mountain's height, is the fairest one of all," it said. Enraged with jealousy, the wicked queen summoned her most loyal huntsman and ordered him to take Snow White into the forest and kill her. "Bring back her heart as proof," she commanded. The huntsman, however, could not carry out such a cruel act. Instead, he led Snow White deep into the forest and told her to run away and never return. Lost and frightened, Snow White wandered through the dense woods until she came across a quaint little cottage. The cottage belonged to 7 dwarfs, who were miners, toiling away each day to extract precious gems and metals from the heart of the mountains. They were named Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, and Dopey. When the dwarfs returned from their day's work and saw Snow White, they were taken aback by her beauty and innocence. They welcomed her into their home, and she, in turn, took care of their dwelling and became friends with the dwarfs. They grew to love her like a sister, and she found comfort and happiness in their company. Meanwhile, the wicked queen soon discovered that Snow White was still alive, thanks to her magical mirror. Consumed by her envy and desire to be the fairest in the land again, she devised a plan to take matters into her own hands. Disguising herself as an old peddler woman, she travelled to the dwarf's cottage with a poisoned apple. Knocking on the door, the wicked queen offered Snow White the poisoned apple, claiming it was a magical fruit that would grant her heart's desires. Unaware of the danger, Snow White took a bite, and instantly she fell into a deep, death-like slumber. The dwarfs returned to find Snow White unconscious and unable to wake her. Heartbroken, they built a beautiful glass coffin for her and placed it on a hillside, vowing to cherish her memory forever. They would visit her often, singing songs and placing flowers on her resting place. News of Snow White's mysterious fate spread through the kingdom, and tales of her beauty and the wicked queen's envy reached the ears of a wandering prince. Intrigued, he set out to find the legendary princess and see for himself if the stories were true. As fate would have it, the prince eventually stumbled upon Snow White's glass coffin while passing through the forest. Her beauty was so mesmerizing that he couldn't take his eyes off her. Overwhelmed with emotion, he bent down and kissed her lips gently, hoping for a miracle. And a miracle did happen. The power of true love's kiss broke the spell, and Snow White awakened from her slumber. She was overjoyed to see the handsome prince before her. As they gazed into each other's eyes, they knew that they were destined to be together. The prince declared his love for Snow White, and she in turn fell in love with him. Grateful to the dwarfs for their kindness, she bid them farewell, promising to visit them whenever she could. Hand in hand, Snow White and the prince journeyed to his kingdom, where they were received with great joy and celebration. The wicked queen, always in search of eternal beauty, learned of Snow White's revival and could not resist attending the royal wedding. However, her wicked deeds did not go unpunished. Upon arriving at the palace, she was recognized, and her evil intentions were exposed. In a fit of rage and despair, the wicked queen tried to escape, but justice was swift. She was captured and brought to the king for judgment. As punishment for her crimes, she was forced to dance in red-hot iron shoes until she dropped dead. Snow White and the prince ruled their kingdom with love and kindness, and their marriage brought peace and prosperity to the land. The dwarfs visited them often, and all rejoiced in the triumph of good over evil. And so, the story of Snow White became a beloved fairy tale, reminding people of the power of love, friendship, and the importance of seeing beauty beyond appearances. The memory of Snow White's grace, kindness, and resilience lived on in the hearts of the people, and her tale continues to be retold and cherished by generations, an enduring symbol of hope and true love.